Check the butts.
Yeah, we checked the butts for poopy butt.
Yeah.
Tasty butt.
And I think we've named half the chickens now.
And you can remember them?
Yeah, we're recognizing the characteristic. Yeah, we've got like this is Dottie. She's got a spot on her head. Who's this?
No, this one doesn't have a name yet.
This one's not named yet.
We got Poppy.
Poppy.
This is
Ethel.
Ethel.
Ethel is the tiny one. That's named after my grandmother.
And Peach is that one.
We've got Princess Peach.
There he goes again.
Oh wow, we've got one that figured out how to hop up.
Artist.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how fast they grow? You turn your back, right, and they double in size.
Yeah, we got them Sunday, and they're definitely we've noticed every day. Like, okay, they're definitely bigger.
Yeah, we got 2 little ducklings in the house.
We have to try again. We couldn't get it.
In the house.
Yeah, we got 2 little ducklings, and yeah, man, we've had them probably for a week and a half. So ducks tear up ducks leave the garden alone. We got ducks and chickens, but ducks are a little bit nicer.
So they're not mature to where they're producing eggs, right?
No, they're like a few weeks old.
That is one thing I've heard about. Like, beware. I don't know if you're aware, but like some people are allergic to duck eggs. They figure out after investing in it. I don't know like how many, what kind of percentage is, but I've heard about that.
I like my duck eggs.
Hey, it's Brandon.
Hey. Thanks for joining the party. I just told the community we're hanging out with a bunch of chicks. And Brandon shows up.
Right.
Thanks for making it. Where did you purchase your chicks at, Florence?
Well, I woke up last Sunday, and Candace said, "Hey, let's buy some chickens." So she was on Craigslist and found somebody local that was selling them $10 a piece, and we just actually what we did was we went out and started shopping in town. We were looking for a lamp, like a clamp.
A heat lamp.
A heat lamp.
Yeah.
And looking for the bulb. So we went to Ace Hardware, and then we went to a Pet Smart or something. We actually bought bedding there. And then we went out to Norco, which is a good 30-mile drive out to Riverside County. And we went to a Tractor Supply. We had to put on masks. We had to cover our faces out there. We got some information from a guy. He talks us through it.
Who's next?
Because we all of a sudden we realized, like, wow,
Come here, puppy.
I don't know what we were doing. We didn't have the chickens yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got some of the water and feeder. We got some food. Then we went to another feed supply in Norco, and we got some grit. Not grit. We got chicken scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came back. On the way back, I texted the woman Craigslist ad, and she said 2 p.m. in the Starbucks parking lot in La Habra, $10 a piece. We pulled up in there, and
Slinging chicks.
she pulled up and opened up the trunk, and yeah, we
My big smile started from there.
And do you know where you're putting them? Like, do you have just a backyard?
You
You're gonna be able to seal them in?
they oops, sorry.
Come on, who's next?
So they're going to be in this backyard,
Oh,
which
nice.
is pretty small for 10 chickens, but
Just free roaming?
well, we've got a coop we've ordered a coop that we got to put together, and then we're going to design a run to make it work so that they're protected. Because I assume they're going to be some predators.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to fortify the gate and the fence.
Cats.
I've already caught a cat a couple times.
Oh shit.
But we've got chicken wire over the tub, so when we bring them out, they're safe here. We keep them in the garage at night, and then when we go to work, so far the temperature's cooperated that it's manageable. We can go to work and come back, and they're okay.
Sweet. Awesome, man. That's really fun.
Good bird.
Once you start cracking eggs and having that for breakfast, man, it's the best. Like, you can't go back.
That's gonna be really great.
Yeah. Eggs are worth it. I just cleaned out our chicken coop today and got to don on my N95 mask to clean out the chicken coop. Knew how to work it.
Deep in that corner. Come here, Ethel.
And then we put that in a wheelbarrow and
Surprise, you
put that
went
back in the
first.
garden.
Come here.
It's good stuff.
Come here.
Yeah, I'm looking I'm looking
Nice.
forward to the compost.
Nice, Brandon.
Hey, what
Here's my chicks.
a-
3 of them, all in a 4. Wow. They lay in there too?
We did not clean the chicken coop today.
Good fertilizer right there. Nice.
Yeah, we haven't.
How much
Done
are
much.
those 4 dropping eggs
Oh,
for you guys
dripping,
right
but I
now?
don't think it's-
We get like 2 or 3 a day.
Nice.
It's no clog, it's just drip on the butt.
Well, I'm gonna kick this show off. Thanks for showing up. Let me do the intro, and then we're just gonna have a nice casual conversation. Ooh. Ooh. Hello. Welcome. Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Probably catching this on the replay. My name is Joshua Hale, and welcome to Do It Live Autonomy Podcast. I got a nice assortment of autonomizers here with me. We're going to be talking about this last week. We're now entering into week 5 of autonomy. Lives are changing. People are mingling. This is a really great time to be a part of the community. Don't want to give too much away, so we're just going to go into it. There wasn't a lot of events this last week. I got some things that I was busy with. Something I do want to bring up is I'm busy with Autonomy Unlimited, and I had some great discovery call meetings with even some students who are bringing projects into Autonomy Unlimited. What that means is that they have projects and dreams that they want to see come to fruition. And so they'll get on a call with us. We'll figure out what it is that they're trying to create, provide a map, a way to get there. And for some of them, that involves getting onboarded into the Autonomy Unlimited process to where apprentices can work on their projects and help them out. It's great experience for apprentices that want to get a testimonial or a project in their portfolio. And then, of course, people love the support, trying to get these dreams up off the ground. Takes a lot, and really not handed a map out there in the real world. So this week I had a meeting with Tim Flynn. Tim Flynn's brought his project into Autonomy Unlimited. We're going to be helping him out with getting his coaching business up and going. Hedda Marie had a great conversation with her. Going to want to help her create a course about courses, right? And who else? Who else? Oh, new Autonomy Unlimited partner, Content Safe. Content Safe, they help creators back up their videos so that if their YouTube channel is lost, that they have all their stuff ready to go. They also upload simultaneously on multiple different networks, BitChute, what are the other ones? A few other ones. So you got lots of choices, and you don't have to worry about your stuff getting lost because you get shut down and censored, and your YouTube channel gets destroyed because Content Safe is able to back you up. Really great service. They're going to be helping us out here with Autonomy Podcast. It's now going to be popping up on BitChute, and this other one just told. Anyways, really great to have them here. Check out contentsafe.com if you're interested in that. Meanwhile, on the call, we got Lawrence, Brandon, Michael Nitz, what's up? And Scott Harris is joining us. Really appreciate you guys showing up. This is going to be a good episode. There's a lot of sparks happening in the community. I'm going to go around the room and just say, like, what was one big highlight from this last week that really stuck with you? Who wants to go first? Mike.
Hey, I can go. Yeah.
What up, man?
Oh man, it's all good. You're looking good yourself, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see, good things that happen for me. I mean, every week there's always good things happen, especially when we're in season. I think there's a whole lot of good things. But I spent, I think I had 3 different calls this week where I got to meet some of our new students. And man, I've got to say, I'm incredibly impressed with the caliber of people that we've got coming along. So I'm really excited about, what the future will bring. I don't know if I'm hearing you.
Everybody's always apprehensive about meeting new people, just a little bit at the least. So it's great to see, the new people come in to Autonomy, and then either overhear a conversation about them, hear them in a conversation, or you buck up and have an interview with them yourself. And yeah, I have yet to be disappointed with anyone I've met here.
It's awesome.
Good to have you, Mike. Lawrence?
Yeah, my pleasure.
Well, I feel a bit disconnected. I'm, listening in here and there. I've gotten some great nuggets out of some conversations that I've just eavesdropped on, especially about permaculture. There's definitely a bunch of people that I want to connect with. For me, I guess buying chickens, that's been a big change in the past week. So just, I feel like an overprotected parent. I've just been, a good chunk of time has been dedicated just to make sure we're off to the right start with that. I did catch a couple hours of the lecture last night, and I used it for some more creative time, working on, I guess, some ad ideas. I did manage to capture an idea. Rich spoke about momentum. Momentum resists resistance, and I jumped on that and created a little graphic out of that. I really gotten to enjoy that. I guess some pithy copywriting. Well, those were Richard's words right there, but I did a little more work on the 19 skills PDF that we've been working on.
Nice.
And, looking forward to some feedback from Kara about that. This morning I had to do door duty at the Home Depot, I was counting bodies going out the door, and I I listened to Brandon's new album. So that was really cool because I got to interview him a couple weeks ago just to get to know him. And then he released an album yesterday, and I listened to it through Bandcamp. And now that I'm home, I'm gonna buy it. And that was really cool. I enjoyed that, and I look forward to talking more music. Actually, that's something. When Brandon and I spoke, I talked about sort of setting up a music meeting, autonomy music meeting. So that's something I have yet to follow through with. But somebody posted a mastermind, sort of like an outline for a mastermind, and I thought that was interesting. That would be helpful as sort of a framework. So that's something I need to follow through on, and I'll be putting out a call to all in autonomy musicians and non-musicians, music lovers, or whatever, to I guess maybe a musical mastermind, and for me, I'm hoping to be able to bring something like work in progress to present, maybe encourage others to do so, and then talk about, how we can spread the autonomy message, spread freedom through different genres of music, that sort of thing. So looking forward to making that happen.
Sweet, man. Yeah, good recap. I was going to talk a little bit about masterminds. But first, Brandon, congratulations on releasing an album, man. I really want to hear that process. How'd you get it up on Bandcamp? What's their requirements? And what was the most difficult thing with this album?
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Bandcamp is pretty straightforward. You just want to get the highest quality, so usually like a WAV file, and it's super straightforward.
Do they convert? Do you give them a WAV file and they'll convert it to MP3 for people to download?
Yeah, so when people buy it off Bandcamp, there's like, I think 4 or 5 different formats you can choose from. Yeah, so it's really user friendly.
Yeah, I get my DJ music from there.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Straight from the artist. How much do you get out of like $1?
Well, the problem is Bandcamp takes a fee, and then PayPal takes a fee on top of that too. So yesterday, Bandcamp waived all fees for the whole day. There's 2 more days that they're doing that throughout the summer, I think, June and July. I forgot what days they are. But so somebody bought my album yesterday for $5, and I got $4.70 out of that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't include Bandcamp fees. I would have to go in and look and see what their fees are.
Yeah. And then is your album listed as pay as you want?
It's like $3 or more. I usually have it, but I don't know. I go back and forth. Some of the music marketing classes I've taken say that you should, in the age of free music, something on Bandcamp, you should charge $10 or even $15, but I don't know.
That seems like a stretch.
Yeah, so you could actually buy, I have an EP, a single, and 2 albums on there, and you can buy the whole discography for $4.95 or something like that.
That's a steal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember buying CDs for like $16, $17 back in the day for like 8 songs.
Yeah. Or if you got an import CD would be like $30, 30 or 35. Yeah.
Right. And there was nowhere else to get it, right?
No.
Yeah, there's no, yeah. Well, that's sweet. Yeah, what was the most difficult part of putting this album together? And what are you most proud of?
I would say the most difficult part for any musical project I've ever done has been just kind of getting through. I mean, I feel like music production, like many things, is about problem solving, you know? There's always problems that come up, like whether it's software, hardware, whatever. Um, while I was recording, the drums for one of the songs actually, a piece of my cymbal stand fell off, and I think it almost hit me or something, but it totally screwed up the recording. And then I couldn't find it for seriously like 2 hours. I was getting so mad. So my wife had taken the kids out so that I'd have time to do stuff, you know? So it's stuff like that, you know, it's dumb, but it gets to you and it makes you feel like I just want to give up, you know, because it's not working out. So just getting past those feelings, like when things aren't going right, to just keep pushing on. And then, so my goal for this project was to do everything myself, the engineering, the, you know, recording, mixing, mastering. And there was so many times where I was like, I should just quit and go record at the studio that I have been recording at, you know? So, but then lockdown happened and that kind of forced me to
Up to
finish it
you.
myself. And I'm happy that I did, you know?
Yeah.
I've received a lot of good comments from friends that I have that actually working in studios, and they've been, my one friend, he has literally asked me 5 times, "You recorded this at home?" So that, I mean, that makes me, you know, I try not to let it get to my ego, but it's like, it definitely a confidence builder, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And uh, with with now that you've gone through the gambit of learning all those different areas, um, do you want to outsource those now that you've tried them out?
Outsource them?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could actually.
Like, well,
Um,
like mastering and
oh, well, no, well, I'm still learning, and I've actually had a lot of good comments.
sweet.
So it's like that, the mixing and the mastering is like, the recording's the hardest part,
Yeah.
I would say, especially since I was by myself, I have to go back and forth so many times, like set everything up, get all the mic pre's dialed in, record a little bit, see if the levels are right, and go back to the drums. You know, it's all this back and forth, you know.
Yeah.
I could probably have a little bit better setup over here, but to make that easier. But
Cool.
I
So
don't
now
know.
that you did it, now you're happy to do it again. That's good.
Yeah, and I already got the next one ready to go.
Nice. Nice. I remember learning to DJ, and I played at home for almost a full year. Like I'd play for people when they come over after the clubs and things like that late at night. But I remember like a year practicing, trying to learn to DJ with vinyl. Back then, there was no digital information. It was just like this record that you had to like figure out to match it, make it sound good with that other record. And I remember going out on my porch and crying. And I'm like, this is so hard. I'm never gonna do it again. I'm just gonna do it. And right after that was when I started finally it clicked in my head, and I started playing out in clubs after that. But yeah, there's those moments where you're like, I can't do this. I can't do this, right?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be good. I'm not good. I can never figure
that's
this
usually,
out.
it kind of seems like that's usually at the peak though, because like right after that is when it usually clicks. It's like if you would have, and I think that's why they say most businesses fail, because right at that peak is when everyone quits, you know?
Yeah.
If they would have just kept going a little bit more, they would have had it, you know?
Yep. That's how it works for me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sweet,
Yeah,
man.
I need
Go
to be
ahead.
better about, marketing, though. I've taken a
Yeah.
number of music marketing classes, and it's over my head. A lot of it is very social media reliant, and I'm just not into it.
Yeah. Did you, so once you get it up on a Bandcamp, then you're like, okay, I'm done. And you like stop
I
putting energy
posted
into
it.
it.
I posted it a few times on, Facebook and Instagram, but
Yeah.
other than that, that's it.
Did you catch? I posted something in the marketing group. It's not that far back. I have a friend who's in the music industry in Seattle, and he used to be a fellow DJ with me, and he he got into digital marketing after the music industry. And did you check? Have you seen this? Have you read this already?
No, I'll have to go back and look at it.
Okay, 2020. He goes out and lays out this plan on how to market yourself for being an electronic artist, a solo artist. But I know it totally will translate for any music industry. And honestly, there's a lot of good like marketing ideas in there. But how to get seen by the promoters right in the area. And so what you do is you start doing some marketing in that area in order to build a fan base. And then once you have that fan base, that's when you contact the promoters, because the promoters are just wanting to know like that you already have a fan base before they try and book you to their show, because they're not trying to book nobodies at their shows. They want you to draw a crowd to their event, so they make money at the bar is like what they're interested in. So the plan is to like how you gotta kickstart your own movement first, and then you got something to barter with the promoters at the clubs, and then you can get a circuit going and start building momentum. So it's a really good map on how to do that for yourself.
I'm a one-man band, so I don't really play live at all.
Yeah, what's your goal? Do you sing and drum and just layer everything up and make tracks?
Yeah, I just multi-track it. Yeah, I played everything.
Nice. What's your
So
favorite instrument?
that's always been an issue.
Yeah, what's your favorite instrument?
I don't have one. I like all the basic rock instruments: bass guitar,
Yeah.
guitar, drums.
Could you pull it off? Are you singing too? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you pull it off with like a MIDI controller and just be that guy up there with a laptop singing?
The genre that I'm in, the grunge, alternative rock, noise rock, the fans are so, I don't know what the right word is. I'll just say picky.
PBR, and they just want to do this.
Well, it's like, if they would, I thought about just setting up a laptop and having backing tracks and just me playing guitar and singing, but that would not go over well with that crowd.
Yeah.
They're very picky, judgmental, I guess.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, cool. Well, then that cuts out a lot of your marketing needs. Usually, because now you just need to get your digital track in front of as many people as possible, right?
Yeah, and then I've gone back and forth too with a lot of my source material for lyrics and stuff is like conspiracy theory stuff, So I thought about, as far as social media posting, I was gonna work that into like, because you're supposed to tell your story, but I'm like, I don't know, like I think a lot of my friends would be kind of standoffish once I started posting that kind of stuff. So that's been a struggle too. I don't really know. And then, but then I also feel bad because I'm like, am I being dishonest kind of by withholding that kind of information? So it's been a struggle.
Yeah. Conflicting. Well, I really think conspiracy is really starting to be part of the cool crowd now, because way shit's going down right now. My mom just contacted me this last week, and she's like, "Did you know those two doctors got kicked off of YouTube?" Right. So
Yeah.
I think you might be positioning yourself at an opportune time to to release your lyrics.
Yeah. I got to be careful though too, because if I get too crazy, I could get in trouble at work, unfortunately. So because we do a lot of defense contract stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I could lose my job probably if I get too government's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's many factors that have prevented me from pursuing marketing this stuff. But I'll get there. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, do you enjoy it?
I enjoy the music. I don't have to make money at it.
Yeah.
I see some avenues opening up. Like people have noticed how good I did. So now I have 2 people asking me to record stuff for them now. Yeah, I could see doing other things.
You got a stage name? What's the name of your band?
Dissolving Illusions. I took it from the Suzanne Humphrey. What's her name? Humphreys book? Yeah.
Sweet, sweet. Well, maybe you could do documentary scores. It's a good way to put yourself out there, linked up with the truth movement, but also concealing your identity.
Yeah.
Passio's doing his documentary right now. You might be looking for some music for it.
Yeah, I'd be down to try something. And like Lawrence was saying, we could involve the whole community.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, Lawrence brought up Mastermind. In season 1, we put together a mastermind. There were 7 of us, and we got together every week through the AUTONOMY season. And I got a ton of value from it. Not only when I was in the hot seat, meaning it was my turn to talk that week, but just coming in, week out, and just everybody kind of checking in real quick, and then the person in the hot seat gets to really share what challenges they're experiencing that week, and after he's done sharing, then everybody gives strategy and feedback for pretty much the rest of the hour, and then you commit to taking some action in front of everybody, and it was really, really powerful and helpful to get all that feedback, all that attention on whatever you're working through. And then the next week, the hot seat rotates and somebody else has got problems. And I love offering strategy to problems. So it's really rewarding to be on both sides of it. But that accountability of just keeping things moving forward, saying what you're going to do and then doing it, and having those people there to follow up with you really helps you gain momentum. And I could totally see you guys having a music mastermind, keeping you all moving forward. Awesome. Anybody else on the call want to chime in about this last week? We had a lot of really great interviews going on. It was nice to see pretty much all throughout the week. We had people in the dojo getting to know each other, talking, and we're able to jump in and eavesdrop on their conversations. It'll get more productive in the coming weeks because you'll depend on those eavesdroppers to provide feedback on what it is that you're working on. So right now it's just great to be able to hear everybody's kind of backstory and get together and know each other more. Well, I have a couple slides from last night's presentation, and we can just talk about what really stuck with us in last night's presentation. Failure is the raw material, not the end result. And failure is the raw material you need to construct long-lasting success. We need those failures. We're taught in school not to embrace failure, to avoid failure, right? To even if you got to cheat, to do what you got to do to get good grades on that test that you're taking. But really, getting comfortable with failure is a skill, one of the best skills to exercise, because it's going to happen. Nobody's perfect, and the quicker we can try and fail and turn around and keep trying, the faster that we can gain skills and grow. Anybody have any feedback on failure?
Yeah, I'll chime in a little there. This is definitely something that, has helped me a great deal, because I do remember myself as a child when I would not accept fail. I mean, I failed often. I was, obviously when you're a kid, you do a lot of things that you want to do, and you're not good at them at first, but you just want to be good. And, to me, like, as becoming an adult, you kind of get conditioned out of that. You lose that curiosity and that drive and the excitement that you have for doing things. And, listening to Richard last season and really kind of incorporating this understanding back into my life again, where, man, I don't care how many times I fail, man. I just keep scheduling my success and, doing it live. And, if it turns out bad, I learn from that and I move on, and I get more excited. And I think the people that, see me improving, they can see, man, I'm dedicated, I'm trustworthy. I'm doing what I'm saying I'm going to do, and I'm making a difference, So it's really important, I think, to fail and really actually, look forward to it almost, it can be almost fun. The example that Richard had is, you're just hitting so many customers, and yeah, you're failing a lot, but you don't need that many to succeed. You just need a few. And the rest are just experiences, you learn from those things. I can't even tell you how much I've learned in this past year, with all the different things that have come about.
Sweet. Right, Mike. Brandon, you were just talking about that. Feeling like you're failing with recording your album, but you needed those little experiences, right, to get on the other side.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't know half as much of what I know now if I hadn't pushed myself to take the leap and then take the failure with the leap, I think it was back in 2014 when I finally was like, all right, I got all these songs. I'm going to go to a local studio and start recording. And that was terrifying. And then a few of those sessions did not go well. But you just kind of learn that that's how it goes, and it gets easier. I think it gets easier overall, maybe not in the moment. For me personally, in the moment, yeah, it seems pretty bad, but when you step away from it and you get more perspective, and you're able to recover quicker, at least in my experience. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience, but I think Agnieszka was saying how, like, we got to reprogram our brains, and I'm just not there yet, but it's easier to quiet the negative self-talk. The more you fail and the more you keep going.
Totally. Yeah, for me personally, I always get like tunnel vision. When it's a good like fail, I'll get tunnel vision and I get heat flush. My face gets hot. And I remember I used to would want to like run away, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that in front of people. I'm embarrassed. You're thinking, like, your prefrontal cortex starts shutting down because of all that cortisone and stress in your brain. And then if you try to like stumble your way through it, then yeah, it feels really clunky. And a trick I've learned from Brene Brown is to just latch on to anything that you're grateful for, because you get into that mindset of like, oh man, that tunnel vision, and you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that. You can either go with beating yourself up, I'm so stupid, I always do that, or if you can think about it, just say anything you're grateful for and be like, there's blue sky outside. I'm so grateful for the blue sky. Oh, it's springtime. I'm so grateful for there's springtime. Oh, my friends are with me. I'm so grateful that my friends are with me. And it literally will, like, you can't hold that like that pity and that gratitude at the same time. And once you go with gratitude, you'll notice your like adrenaline and cortisol start dropping, and you'll start like getting your thought process back. I heard that, I tried it, and now it's part of my arsenal because it works. And as soon as you can like gain your perspective back, as you were saying, then it's like, okay, that happened. Why did that happen? Let's figure out why that happened so it doesn't have to happen again. Learn, grow, repeat, and then you don't have to do it again because it is uncomfortable. Lawrence, when was the last time you failed?
Oh man, well, the flushing of the face, that reminded me of some of the conversations I have with my wife sometimes when she challenges me to explain myself, and I find myself unable to elaborate on things that I think I understand very well. So that's something that happens rather frequently. I do feel like I'm pretty good at isolating myself, or setting myself up to prevent that failure, creating a comfort zone. So that's something to work on. I think I would really like to press forward with some music and fail forward, learn forward through that. Obviously that would be good. And
music's a tough one, right? Especially when you start performing in front of others, and you got to learn somewhere.
Yeah, I do have some experience performing, just growing up taking Suzuki violin and piano lessons and having to do performances. And then when I went to high school, we had like this guitar guild, and we learned rock songs and played in front of the whole school on the stage. So I've got a little bit of that, and then a few DJing gigs where I got used to just doing it live. I guess just being in, doing stuff in front of people. I guess for me, well, I was reminded last night, just the Babe Ruth thing that hits home with me. I'm a baseball guy. I mean, I played baseball when I was young, and I got back to playing baseball for a few years up until this last fall. So there's a lot of built-in failure with baseball, but I always feel like I made it really hard to accept failure there. So like
There's no crying in baseball.
there's no crying in baseball. Thank you, Tom Hanks. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but
I remember DJing, and I used to have this goatee that was about this long, and then I put hair extensions in it, and so it was like this long, right? And I had this like huge thing to whip around, and I'd be DJing, and there's like a huge crowd dancing, and then my goatee would hit the crossfader and just shut off the music, and I'm like, what just happened, right? And you gotta like figure out which button it was and then get things going again. That is some stress, right? When there is a crowd and and you just messed up and they're waiting on you to get back into the groove. That's a stressful situation.
Can you
Most
post some
definitely.
photos in the class chat?
Say what?
Can you post some old photos in the class chat so we can see?
Sure. Yeah, I got them
Sounds pretty
somewhere.
cool.
All right, here's another slide. Defining investing in yourself. These actions bring self-reliance, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-respect, anti-scarcity, useful in aiding others as well too. These are all necessary ingredients for autonomy. Man, back in the day, so I used to do a lot of substances, and in reflection now, I considered myself like Houdini, right? I was an escape artist. I like to escape reality, not because it was exploratory and fun, but I really like to escape because I was able to like protect my vulnerability in putting myself out there, right? When I was drinking and when I was partying, like I had this kind of persona up that wasn't really me. So I didn't have to like actually put my own insecurities and vulnerabilities out there because I had a ton of them. And so defining these bullet points, self-reliance, I didn't really have that. Self-confidence, I had like a pseudo self-confidence that came out when I started drinking. And self-esteem, I would go into these huge up and down waves throughout the week where I would DJ and party on the weekends, and then I would come home and like nurse a hangover for a couple days, but then go into huge depression like through the middle of the week. And then Thursday and Friday would come back around, and then I would start hopping up again. And I mean, I did that for years and years and years. And I lost my own self-respect, and I was very, very scarcity minded just because I didn't give my self-worth very much value. So I never asked for my worth. I was always letting people walk over me, and like DJ gigs be like, sorry, man, I only got $20 I can pay you. Thanks for playing for 3 hours. And I'd be like, it's cool, man. It's cool. All good. All good. Thanks for the drink. How am I going to figure out pay rent tonight? That was really kind of my whole personality and existence back then, all because I didn't have a strong sense of who I was and my purpose. And I was letting myself be distracted by substances and good times and girls and partying. And when I finally sobered up, this was in 2012, it was really fascinating because I realized that I had the emotional maturity of like a 16-year-old. Basically, when I like started smoking weed and drinking, I was like 32, 33, and like realizing like my emotions were all over the place. I didn't have any way to manage those. My humor was still like telling stupid teenager jokes. I really had a hard time like holding a conversation with anybody. My social skills were non-existent. And when I tried to go out to like a house event, a dinner party, and didn't drink, I was really awkward. And I was still smoking cigarettes even though I stopped drinking, and I would use those to like exit the room because I'd be so stressed out instead of being able to talk to people. So having those 5 bullet points right there has shown me how much I've grown and come into my own, because you can't have those, you can't fake those without really doing the work and living those failures to have that experience to be able to own those things. Anybody else have any experiences like that?
Yeah, I can chime in on that one, Joshua. I spent some time in the Army, military, and of course developed a drinking problem. And similar to what you related, I used to work a full-time job, and I'd go to school at night, and then I'd go out to the bars, and everybody kind of loved me because I had all these stories from the military, and before that I was kind of a hoodlum to some degree, and so I did a lot of crazy shit, and I had a lot of stories about all kinds of stuff. So I was kind of like the life of the party, but it kind of got me stuck in that crazy lifestyle of just like wasting my life away. And I finally had an incident where it just totally slapped me in the face. I got in trouble with the law and a bunch of other stuff, and I kind of crawled out of a bar brawl, and said, I can't live like this anymore. I've got to change. And I just quit drinking, and I left that whole group of people behind, and changed my life. And it was it was amazing what a difference was, how much of a distraction and the expenses that I was wasting. I like bought like a new house like 5 months later, after I just got all the shit out of the way. And so, but it is like in those cases, it's like the drinking, and it's like your liquid courage. It's like your liquid personality. Your ego and everything else is attached to this like monster that you create that is terrible. And I see a lot of people, and it's also kind of like a pride thing too, because like if you're known as somebody that's got some notoriety or something, then you're kind of playing along with the act that they expect you to bring. And it's and it's self-defeating in a lot of ways, and you've got to be able to assert yourself, and that's not easy today.
Yeah. Yep. It's to have my experience and like yourself, Mike, and to be able to like look back upon it and see the path that we both individually took to get out of it. Man, I did not see my way out of it when I was inside of it. It really felt like I created a complete lifestyle that was entrapping. And luckily for myself, like I saw the value in meditation and didn't know how to meditate, but then like came across a book and it said like just sit down with a candle and stare at the flame. I was like, okay, all right, I'll try this, and like did that and like had some moments of clarity and some inner stillness. And once I started to like experience that, I was like, okay, I want more of that. Because compared to my, like chaotic, like high highs and low lows lifestyle, man, that felt a lot better and soothing in order for me to be able to grab a hold of and get the hell out of that reoccurring pattern.
Well, I can attest to being through, I think, quite a lot of the same YouTube just talked about, and I don't know. That's definitely a slide I need to go back to and focus on, and you know, I suppose I feel somewhat still in the midst of breaking out of some things. Like for me, on top of well, yeah, just the trusting the experts and putting myself in the hands of doctors and pharmaceuticals. That's been a part of the journey, with all the other BS piled on top of it. And yeah, it's still an ongoing process.
Yeah, once I pulled my head out of the clouds, then it's all just, layers of the onion that you gotta like peel out of, from food to like the toxic relationships in your life. Like you really just, once you find yourself, then you gotta find your way out. And this world, this reality is littered in layered traps, as we're all learning still in autonomy.
I was gonna add my struggles weren't with drugs or alcohol, but with it sounds kind of dumb, but shopping almost. Buying records, buying guitars. My self-esteem was built too much in that, and I've mostly have myself worked out of that. Every now and then I have like a relapse day where next thing I knew, I spent $200 on some limited edition vinyl, like that I didn't really want or need, or luckily nowadays I can afford it a little bit more. But back then I was just charging up credit card after credit card after credit card, and it was not good. So I may have escaped the drug and alcohol thing, but I didn't. I still had my issues,
Yeah, and I've from my perspective and experience, like that addiction thing, like it's the same pattern in whatever form it takes in people's lives. So I've gone the whole gambit of hard drugs up to cigarettes, and it still shows up in my life now that I like don't even drink or smoke anymore. In chocolate, I like to have a little bit of dark chocolate after dinner. And I notice if I don't have my dark chocolate after dinner, like I'll feel that itch of like, oh man, just need that little hit right there. And so I recognize that, and like in that, I'm okay with that being in my life because it's not really affecting anybody. I'm not like selling my TV to get a hit of chocolate. And dark chocolate has health benefits anyways. So, but really, like, it could take any tiny little form, Brandon, just like what you were talking about. It's the same pattern, and like that feeling of out of control because you're looking to, you know, have something external help the way you feel inside of yourself. So good on you on recognizing that.
Recognize it, but still struggle with pulling myself back from it at times.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm doing it while I'm doing it, but I can't stop myself always, sometimes, but not always, you know.
Man, I've like watched my hand pull my cell phone out of my pocket and call a drug dealer. And I'm like in the back seat being like, I'm not even in control right now. Like, I just like called this dude and told him I was going to meet him. I like barely have enough money to eat. And now I'm driving around like on the other side of town. Yeah. And you're like in the back seat, like watching this crazy pattern play out.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good way to put it. It's like you're watching yourself do it, but it's not almost like you're not the one doing it.
Yeah. And you're either, this is a great analogy that I constantly use in describing this, but walking up a downward escalator, you're either like putting forth effort to like walk up it, because if you stop putting forth effort on working on it, you immediately like go down. And so you have to consciously like continue to strive to not go down there. Otherwise it's automatic, like down the toilet. Hope that made sense.
Yeah, totally.
Well, cool. Well, guys, it's been really great catching up with you. That was a good blast to the past. It's good to remember that stuff because that's how I got to be here. And I really, those were a lot of failures, right? Those were a lot of failures. And it's easy to be like, oh, that stuff never happened. I'm just like who I am now, right? But it's really good to reflect on that because that's where we can all connect. We all have challenges and struggles, and that makes us human, and we're able to empathize with others and be able to it's being honest, right? It's being true to like what happened, and yeah, thanks for sharing that. Well, I'm gonna wrap this show up. I got my daughter to go put to bed. Thanks everybody for coming to Do It Live Autonomy Podcast. Make sure to subscribe if you're watching this on the GooTube, hopefully BitChute. Make sure to tune in next week as we go through this season in autonomy. If you're curious about what autonomy is, go to getautonomy.info /ignite. That's where you'll really learn all about what autonomy can do for you. Tell them any one of us sent you, and we'd love to see you inside the community. Thanks everybody for showing up. See you guys next time.